Hello, Steve Persh here, Director of Technical Marketing at Pantheon, streaming in from a very snowy Minneapolis, Minnesota today. Today on the live stream, we are again talking about the intersection of WordPress and content delivery networks. WordPress is a content management system that powers a huge percentage of all websites on the internet. And because of that ubiquity, pretty much every web professional, it seems, has a horror story about WordPress and performance or WordPress and scalability. We here at Pantheon do our best to solve that by baking in a CDN integration for every single site on the platform. So if you want to follow along with what you'll see here today on the live stream, all you need to do is go to pantheon.io and register for a free account. You can make a WordPress sandbox site. Every site on Pantheon, paid or unpaid, gets at least 3 environments: dev, test, and live. All of those environments get the benefit of our global CDN. For simplicity, today we'll only be looking at the dev environment because we'll be adding a plugin, Pantheon Advanced Page Cache, to our WordPress site, and the dev environment is a good place to add a plugin. That plugin that we'll see automatically passes metadata from your WordPress site to the CDN so that when content changes in WordPress, the HTTP headers tell the CDN that it needs to change too. Today, though, we are going to dramatize the pain of not having that working. What happens to a team, to a web team, when the content updates in the WordPress database, but the CDN is still showing the old stuff? Before we get to that, let me bring in Pantheon developer advocate Taryn Almendarez. Taryn, how's it going?
Hi, Steve.
Hello, hello.
Pretty good. I just got back from Florida and it was 80 there, and it's 78 in Dallas today. So sorry that it's snowing where you are.
Yes, we had what a meme online told me was Fool's Spring here in Minnesota. It was like 40 degrees, the ice was melting, and having spent most of my life in Wisconsin, Illinois, and now Minnesota, I know not to get fooled by those 40-degree days in February. It's like, oh, there's something worse. There's something worse coming, and the forecast tells me it could be like a top 10 snow event in Minnesota or Minneapolis history. So that'll be fun.
Well, be careful.
Yes. School's canceled, so I'm not going far. I've got an idea for today's live stream, Taryn.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, we had fun, you and me. We were demoing a WordPress site with a CDN. I made the site really slow on purpose. I drew some diagrams with crayon. I poured out a little bucket of Legos onto the diagram to visualize a flood of traffic. Good times, right?
It was a lot of fun. I like the little Lego people. I like that you had like the headless Lego person for a headless WordPress.
So yes.
Yeah.
A little Easter egg. I want more though, Taryn. I want
what? More what?
More drama, higher stakes, like, a CDN makes your WordPress site faster and more scalable, but you don't want to lose the ability to change content quickly. Like, some people on your team have an expectation of what WordPress just does. And if you add the CDN, those people might think it's doing more harm than good if it's caching old stuff, if it's caching out of date, possibly incorrect stuff. The person who cares most about what the content of the message is, they could get in a fight with a developer configuring the CDN. They could lose trust in one another. It could be a total mess.
You sound like you're describing a reality TV show right now.
I mean, yeah. WebOps reality TV. It's a team sport. It's a team sport.
Yeah. Like a sports reality TV show? Team sport reality?
Keeping up with the WordPresses, something like that.
Keeping up with the WordPress. Okay, I'll indulge you, Steve. Who's on this theoretical keeping up with the WordPresses team?
All right, so because Chris and Elise are already backstage, so to speak, in our streaming software, I'm thinking, because we also, we rehearsed it with Chris and Elise, let's just do it with Chris and Elise.
Okay, that makes sense. But isn't reality TV show like just in the moment? Like, isn't it just like all real?
No, it's. I mean, I think it depends. I think it depends on.
Well,
This is a story for perhaps another stream. I do know someone who won The Bachelorette, And that is a story I'll save for another stream. Next up, let's add on to the stream Pantheon senior software engineer with over 15 years of experience pressing the words of WordPress. Give a warm live stream welcome to Chris Reynolds, everybody. Hello, Chris.
Hi, I was not on The Bachelorette.
You were not the person on The
No.
Bachelorette. That was a different person from my early days of of being a web developer. Chris, welcome for the benefit of our live stream audience. Could you share a bit more about your background and what you do at Pantheon?
Sure. So I've been at Pantheon for about a year. I am a senior software engineer on the CMS platform team. So what that means is my team's job is basically to make the CMS experience better for all the people that use Pantheon. Before I was at Pantheon, I've done a lot of things. I've been in WordPress for over 15 years. I started off freelancing. I then created a freelance agency. I worked for a premium plugin. I started doing agency work. I've done online tutorials about WordPress. So I've been around working on very, very small sites and very, very large sites. And now I'm here at Pantheon.
So, Chris, it sounds like you have a pretty good understanding of how WordPress and CDNs can play well together, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, a year or so ago, we worked together on the Edge integrations project to bring personalization to Pantheon, and that was all using CDN level layer stuff, Edge caching stuff. So I think it's fair to say I have a decent understanding of how that stuff works.
That is true. We did explore some advanced personalization use cases there. But for the purposes of today's live stream, at least at the beginning, can you put yourself in that previous mindset where you did not know much about how CDNs and WordPress play nicely together?
I can definitely pretend to not know as much as I think I know.
All right, pretending. We'll have some fun playing pretend. Speaking of playing pretend, next let's bring in comedic improviser extraordinaire, although you may know her as Pantheon's Vice President of Business Operations, Elise Iovino. Hello, Elise.
Hello, Steve, and I'm so excited to be here because, unlike Chris, I actually generally don't know how CDNs work, or maybe even what it stands for, to be quite honest.
That's okay, because I'm of the opinion that most people working on websites should not have to know much or anything about a content delivery network. Those are terms like
Knew that.
Yeah, content delivery network. If you watched some of my other videos on YouTube, you know how I feel about the initialisms, the too many initialisms, SSR, SSG. There are too many initialisms in web development. But at least we're getting in the weeds. Could you share more about yourself and your role at Pantheon?
Absolutely. So, yes, I'm the VP of Business Operations at Pantheon. I run a bunch of functions there, including revenue operations and our enterprise solutions team. And I've had various roles in operations, even started my career off in accounting. So,
well,
that's interesting.
So if you're watching on the live stream and you have questions about any of that, like we're mostly here to talk about WordPress and CDNs, but if you've got questions about accounting, Elise could answer.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yes, before we dive into our semi-scripted, obliquely outlined, incompletely improvised fun, I do want to call attention to the chat function we've got here in YouTube. Feel free to ask any questions whatsoever. We'll pause along the way and answer them as appropriate, or hold them for the end, depending on what it is. All right. One more thing before we get into the caching stuff. We do have something to celebrate here today. It is Elise's birthday, so happy birthday, Elise.
Happy birthday.
Guys, and just so you know, I mean, if people will probably be coming in and handing me gifts and stuff, obviously, so just excuse any interruption.
Oh, no problem. One gift, pseudo gift we have for you, if we could bring up Chris's screen share here. We've got a fresh install of WordPress. So if you're following along at home and you want to recreate this, all we've done so far is we've spun up a free WordPress sandbox site, installed WordPress in the dev environment, and we created a happy birthday post for you. So Chris, it looks like you're signed in to WordPress. Maybe we should bring that up as well in like an incognito browser or something to show like what it looks like if you're not signed in. So like Elise, I did put this link in our Slack channel, so like if you want to bring it up on your phone, you can look at it also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So happy birthday.
Wait
virtual
a
birthday
second.
present.
What is this? Where'd you get that photo, Steve?
I screenshotted your Instagram.
Oh, well, that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
You
A
could
little
just
weird.
A little weird, I guess. Yes, a little weird. But you know, happy birthday, Elise. We put in a fun fact here about
Wait.
Your favorite color.
Okay, Steve, do
Yeah.
you see what I'm wearing? Like a purple
Yes.
shirt, purple,
Oh, yeah.
purple birthday, purple shirt, purple stones, purple earrings, purple nails. My favorite color is purple. My birthstone is an amethyst. It's my birthday. How would you put orange? Actually, orange, it's actually my most unlucky color. I have like a whole history with orange.
Okay.
We'll
Well,
get into it right now. We're live. Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, Chris. I feel like, you know, this is just a WordPress site. This should be something we can correct quickly, right?
Yeah, no worries. We can just change out.
Yeah, if you could do that quick, because you know people do last minute gifts, and what if they buy me orange things?
Purple, and then we'll make the
It's
text
okay, Elise. They'll fix it.
purple, and now it's purple.
All right. We're
Yay.
updating
Update
those. There you go.
that.
It's purple. And now let's wait.
Here, purple.
Okay, so that one updated. Could you update the other?
Oh,
can
right,
you
right,
refresh
right.
That other window.
Sure.
'Cause this is what Elise would see on her phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check
Should
it
still
too.
see that it is orange. So this here is this is a microcosm, Elise, of what we want to talk about on the stream here.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait, you got the decoration? Look, guys, do you see what's happening now?
Oh no!
Things are popping up. I can't.
Were those orange Mardi Gras beads? It's not Mardi Gras anymore.
Celebration beads.
Birthday celebration beads. Elise, so this is a microcosm of what we want to explore here today. We have the correct behavior happening in logged in WordPress, but because we have a CDN sitting in front of our WordPress site, it is it's making the site faster, more scalable, but it is doing a wrong thing. So I feel like Chris, could you're the WordPress expert. Could you explain like what's happening that, you know, gives us this this behavior? Like what's happening?
I mean, arguably it's not wrong, right? Like we're just we're caching the content and it's being stored, and there's some HTTP headers that you can look at that'll show you the age of, you know, the page. So, you know, in fact, I can go into the HTTP
open up
headers.
like Chrome Developer Tools, or your
just do
terminal.
that. And we can see that.
So at least this is all making sense, right?
Okay, so I kind of get what's going on, but honestly, I don't really care. Can you just fix my birthday post? Time is of the essence. I could get it. Oh, and another birthday present comes in. Orange candle. Great.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no. All right, Elise, I feel like we've got to go to a conceptual level here. If you don't mind, we'll diagram out what's happening here. So I'll bring in my picture in picture here. So we've got Steve, we've got Chris, we have Elise. Elise, your hair isn't blue. This is inaccurate as well, but if you'll
better than orange.
Better than orange. So we have two major pieces in play. We have our WordPress site. It's sitting there in the data center, and it is surrounded virtually by a content delivery network. I'll label that this thing here. This is the CDN. And what's happening here is when you or someone else who's not logged in makes a request here to the WordPress site, you're getting a response from that CDN. So like if Chris with that logged out window asked WordPress, you know, when it still said orange, give me the logged out version of that page, the CDN is like, oh yeah, Lisa's favorite color is orange and or pink or whatever. And then the CDN just hangs on to that. And if anyone else asks, like, what's your favorite color? The CDN just immediately responds with whatever it has in the cache. So even if Chris goes through and tells like, oh no, it's actually purple, and Chris, when he's logged in, gets that full round trip accurate response, the CDN is still holding on to these other responses for as long as it's been told to hang on to it. So you're getting the old content because a trade-off is being made here between like freshness and fast responses. Elise, I don't know if you find that answer satisfying, or if you may just want us to like fix it or something.
I mean, I would just really like this to be fixed before any other things that are orange just come flying into my.
What was that, Elise? What was that? An orange?
Orange things are flying at me.
Orange things are flying at you.
What happens when things don't move fast?
All right. So, Chris, Elise is clearly upset that the cached version of the website still says orange. So, like, with the level of CDN knowledge that you have at this stage in our story, what can you do about it?
I mean, doesn't Pantheon have like a plugin that deals with that stuff or something?
Well, we do, but before that,
Am I skipping ahead?
before we see the plugin that just like,
I mean,
gets us the
technically,
best
you can
possible
just wait
balance.
for it to clear out on its own. It's only like 10 minutes.
Elise, how do you feel about the just wait option?
Did you see the flying orange things coming at me?
All right, I feel like that's not going to be an acceptable
Chris,
answer
I know
here.
we just
Chris.
met here, and
All
you
right.
seem like a nice guy, but can you fix my website?
All right, let's bring Chris's. Chris, we got your screen back in here. I feel like there's
Sure.
got to be a
And while
button
you're at
that
it, maybe
just
change
does
the
the
picture
thing.
Yeah.
too, because that's just
I mean-
ridiculous looking.
Are you
yeah.
are you gonna ask me to hit declare all caches? button,
Yes,
Steve?
it is one of the most clicked buttons in the whole Pantheon interface, even though we have like plugins and modules that should make it less necessary to click that button. People still click that button a lot. So go ahead and click the button.
Click the button. Just click the button.
Click the button, Chris.
Click the button.
Fine.
Click it.
All right, click the button, and it's purple.
All right, there we go.
Okay,
It
okay,
is now it now accurately says that your favorite color is purple.
Great. Okay. Can you change the picture too?
Oh yeah, change. Yeah, right.
Again, that was a weird thing to do, Steve.
I'm
It's-
sorry.
Yeah, we can just swap that right out. I'll just do that. We're gonna open up the media library. We have this. This is a better picture, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, use
All
that.
right, we'll do that. We can keep the filter on though. That's
Yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
it.
It's purple. We'll
Yeah.
update that, and that should be good to go.
All right. Wait. Okay. So the logged in one is now showing the updated picture. What about the logged out one?
Oh,
Still
right.
showing the old picture.
Yeah, because
okay.
of the 10-minute cache.
Right. So,
But it's
when
fast
this
though, right?
happens-
Like this is super fast.
It is loading fast, but it's loading the old picture.
Wait, guys, this is even more frustrating than before, and I don't even know what this button's doing. And I just got another present. Really?
Orange.
It's just
At
Orange
least you
luggage.
can take it to Costa Rica, right?
no, I don't want to take an orange suitcase to Costa Rica.
Oh yeah.
that would mess with the vibes. All right, let's. Chris, is there another button? Let's show the button. There's a button in Word. We press the button in the dashboard. We could also press the button in the WordPress interface.
Right. Well, if we're gonna do that, we'll probably need to get the plugin that actually has that button, right? Or do we have a button over
Oh,
here?
there is.
Where, what buttons? How many
There's a
buttons?
button.
are
There's
there now?
buttons everywhere, right?
There's buttons
There we go.
everywhere.
How many buttons?
We're clearing all the caches again.
There we go. Fine.
All right. Now we've shown the workaround. There are some teams that press this button a lot. Press this button with every content update. You can script like a virtual pressing of the button with every single content update. But Elise, how do you feel about this button-based workflow?
I'm really not liking the buttons, Steve.
All right, I'm not
No.
liking this button either. I know real Chris, the Chris in the actual present, doesn't like this button either. So let's show on the diagram level why this button is no good. All right, so we have again here our visualization of there I am. I'm this Lego guy. We've got here our visualization of our WordPress site and our cache system. All these Legos here represent the cached pages in the CDN. And when people are making requests and responses, they generally don't have to go all the way to WordPress because the cache has them. But what we're doing when we click that button and blow and clear all the caches, Chris, Elise, are you ready for this?
No.
We're just clearing everything
Never been
away.
more ready.
Everything is gone. I even brushed away the people. Maybe I shouldn't have brushed away the people. We'll just have to imagine the people are still there. But it then takes a while for more requests and responses to come in. And we're basically putting extra load on WordPress that, as we learned last time, WordPress can slow down if all of the traffic goes straight to WordPress rather than getting the benefit of the CDN. So it's going to take a while for all this cache to warm up again, as the term goes.
Like money cache?
Cache rules everything around me, Taryn.
Cache does rule everything around us, but it is CACHE.
That's not cachet.
Cachet, that sounds fancier.
It does sound fancier, but I think the commonly accepted pronunciation in the computer world is just cache.
Yeah.
All right. So we saw the problem with wiping away everything all the time. Let's now show something. Let's now show something better. Let's bring back that view. All right, Chris. Real Chris.
Real
There's
Chris.
a plugin. There's a plugin that makes this better.
There's a plugin that makes this better?
There's a plugin that makes this better.
There's a plugin that
not
makes this better?
Not
I
if
think
you
you make
spell
everything
it
better.
wrong.
We just talked about the spelling of cache.
Like Glade plugin? Oh, WordPress plugins.
WordPress plugins. I think you probably could just search for Pantheon, and I think
Probably
would be
could.
the top one. Pantheon Advanced Page Cache.
There
We
we
have
go.
our own plugin. We're so fly.
Taryn, you're getting
Wait, so
a
this is
shout
just
out in
gonna make
chat
this
from
just work?
Charles.
Like it's just gonna
Hi,
work?
Charles.
Yeah, it should just be fine. So then we can let's go back to our birthday post, and we have that there. That's fresh, so we can do.
Right.
Gonna
Elise,
have
do you have additional fun facts that we could add to
Oh
your
yeah.
birthday message?
I do have a page that's at the Modern Mystic 222 where I do my tarot readings galore. So I mean,
What?
since you've caused me so much stress today, you might as well, plug that for me.
All right,
Sure.
we'll plug the tarot reading Instagram.
The Modern.
Do mine.
Yeah, she can put hers on mine too. I'm happy to share.
Oh no, I mean like I want a tarot reading.
Oh, okay. I can do that for you too.
Yay.
Might be a different
that-
live stream though.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I do at some point want to do
So we've got that, and here's the incognito window.
Wait, guys, is this just working? Is it just working?
No, I think
It's
I
actually
think
not working.
Oh,
if we do it one more time, it'll work because we didn't. And see, live demos, things happen quite not the way you expect. That's okay. That's okay. This will be a team. I know what happened. Let's add one more thing.
You can
One
also
more thing.
you can add a lot more better improv and self-expression for anybody who wants to do free improv jams online on Zoom weekly. I also run that community.
Oh wow.
Come in.
At least you do so much.
I do.
You're so cool.
There we go. That worked.
Hooray!
Yeah.
All right. So I think
it just worked.
it did just work. I
Just
can
like that.
explain why that one worked and why the first time it didn't.
Because we
work.
had the old
Here's-
cache still. Yeah.
Yes, we had the old cache still. So what's happening here? And so our happy birthday post here is birthday post number, well, it's WordPress post number 6. So what's happening here is when someone asks for post number 6, that's happy birthday post, the request is traveling from the person inside of WordPress. And now with this plugin installed, when that response travels back out of WordPress to the CDN, it carries along with it some metadata, which we'll see back in Chris's screen share in just a minute. It carries back with it to the CDN some metadata saying, this is post number 6, or more accurately, this URL, this response that I'm giving you contains within it post number 6. And implied with that metadata is, if in the future I, WordPress, tell you, the CDN, that post number 6 has been updated or needs to be changed, or actually, you, the CDN, you don't even need to know. You just need to know that post number 6 is no longer something you should hang on into your cache. So any page that contains within it post number 6 gets pulled out of the cache. So if this one over here is the home page and it contains post number 6, we're pulling that out. We're not wiping away the entire site's worth of cache just because post number 6 changed. WordPress, when that update button is pressed, the plugin that we've installed is telling the CDN, this post is updated, remove from your cache everything that contains post number 6. All right. I hope that made sense. I'll go back to regular Steve here, and Chris, you could show us at the HTTP header level what that looks like.
Yeah, so we've got a curl request right here. We're passing along this Pantheon debug, which gives us a couple extra fields that are usually hidden when you make a request to a URL, and we're passing the link to the Happy Birthday Elise page. And the important data that we're looking at, a couple things. First of all, is that this isn't cached because we have a miss right there, because that was the first time I did it. But then we've got that post 6. It's the post ID 6. It is written by user 1. It's got term 1, which I believe is just uncategorized category, and it is a single post. And those are all those pieces of metadata that you were talking about.
All right. And can you make that request one more time? Oh, yeah, I wanted to see that age go up.
We've got that hit, and we've got an age right there, 142.
So that tells us that, Elise, your happy birthday message, this specific response has been sitting in the cache for 142 seconds.
And that's a good thing?
I mean, it's good that it's cached. And I guess that brings us back to one of my early points of the vast majority of people working on websites shouldn't have to know these details. And I like the way And we don't. I like the way the tone with which you ask that question. Is that a good thing? It's like, do I need to care? No. We want these things to just work on Pantheon. And so, when you add in this plugin, you get behavior that for
you do get behavior, because look what just came in for me. This beautiful purple crystal, not orange.
It's purple.
What an amazing gift giver. Someone is watching this live stream.
Wow,
and
I
sending
love all you
gifts.
guys. Thanks for the gifts.
All right. Well, we have just about reached the end of our pre-planned agenda. Our chat has been relatively quiet. Charles, Reed, anyone else watching along live, if you've got questions. Chris is pointing at something. Oh, he's pointing at the chat area. I thought you might be pointing at your own.
No, I saw myself doing that, and then I was trying to figure out what the other direction is.
I think I'm curious, about what types of sites people might be working on, where it's really, really critical for them to have the caches cleared and updated. I know, for things like news sites, right? Things can get out of date very quickly.
Yeah, this is most critical for news sites. I think the customers that ask about this functionality commonly are the ones who are thinking in terms of like, we're in a publishing race with other major news outlets. As we've been working on decoupled architectures, we were recently talking with a journalism outlet that was thinking through like, because this gets more complicated when you cut off WordPress's head. So we're thinking about that too. But yeah, when you have a news story that's breaking news and you want it to be on your homepage, especially, then you want it to be there right away. One detail as well here is that the plugin here in WordPress, and Reed, I'll get to your question in just a second. The plugin here in WordPress and the module in Drupal cover a ton of these use cases just out of the box. However, there are some situations where you might just have to think through as the developer, are there any other pages that might need to get cleared from cache in any given situation? Like you might want to clear the homepage cache for the creation of any new piece of content because it's not practical for our plugin to just assume that any given thing needs to be cached. All right,
I can jump in.
Yeah, Chris, do you want to answer this question just verbally? I was just about to bring back the diagram, but
I mean,
but you
so to Reed's question in the chat, which is what's the difference between object caching and a CDN? It touches on what you're talking about, Steve, which is that sometimes you don't want to cache the home page. If you don't want to cache the home page, that's fine, but you don't want the home page to not be cached. So the CDN is caching at a layer in front of the server. So if you think of like, I don't know, the path of your request or like a map or something, like the CDN is somewhere in between you and your destination. And it says, I've got all the things that you need right here. You don't need to go all the way to the server and make the server do stuff. But if you're passing through that, like you do need to hit the server, like there is like, there wasn't anything at the CDN level and there wasn't anything cached, or you're not caching your homepage, you do want to have some amount of caching. That's where Redis, and that's where Redis is a type of object caching. It's a service on your server that handles object caching. And what that means is that the server is doing its own separate caching. So if it does go all the way through to the server, your server can still cache things itself and then serve back cache data. Some things that you can do with object caching is do like partial page caching. So you can cache parts of your homepage, for example, and be returning, those things from cache, but other things that are dynamic or live. So that's sort of the difference, and that's why it's why you kind of want both, especially when there's stuff that isn't hitting the CDN level cache. You definitely want to have object caching there so that you can fall back on that as well.
Yeah, and to talk through that on this diagram level, like when a request hits PHP, to build for PHP to build that response, it's going to need the content, and that content, it might canonically live in the database, which I'll label DB, this purple thing here. So it may be mostly asking the database for this content. However, as we know, especially in WordPress land, some queries can be really slow, and a faster way to get the data faster than doing sometimes complex database queries to get your post data might be for PHP to first ask this other thing. Hey, Redis, do you have post 6? I know I need to load post number 6 here. Can you just give me all of post number 6? And if you're dealing with very complex queries, or you're just loading a lot of content, in many situations, it's faster for PHP to first ask an object cache like Redis, do you have post number 6 and 100 other posts, than it is to ask a MySQL database.
And I will say, in my previous life as a WordPress developer working in agencies, that not all sites in my experience had CDN. So it's really cool that every site at Pantheon has this CDN caching because yeah. So from my experience, we worked mostly with object caching, and that was the thing that we were relying on. But to have the extra layer of edge caching as well means that your pages are going to load a lot faster because you're not going to need to make those requests to the application server at all.
Also in the chat here, we might have gotten some trolling from Ryan Marks. It seems like Ryan Marks is gifting to Elise a pumpkin, a basketball, and a peach.
Ryan's CDN must be out of date.
Ryan, I appreciate you.
Yeah, Ryan, refresh again.
Let's see, eggplant. Emojis are there.
See, you're gonna get in trouble another way.
Eggplant,
they have purple hearts.
Purple heart
ball.
emoji, yeah.
What is it? The what is it? Like the wizards use?
A crystal
ball.
ball. Yeah, that's true. The crystal ball is purple.
Yeah, the crystal ball emoji.
All right, crystal ball emoji.
Great.
Little late for the Halloween celebration. I myself was wearing some Halloween clothes just yesterday. You know, I try and carry the spirit of Halloween all year long. All right. We and the purple,
devil emoji.
The purple devil. All right. Well, it seems like we've gotten to all the questions on the chat. Any closing thoughts before we go?
I just want to say that I'm not mad at you anymore, but also that I learned something today, and it's that I really, really, really don't like orange. I really don't. I actually didn't realize I had that, but it actually is true. So I learned that, and I learned a little bit about CDNs too. So
yay.
All right. Excellent. Well, if you are watching this either live or the recording and you want to replicate some of what you've seen here today, just go to pantheon.io and register for a free account. You can replicate everything you've seen here today in that dev environment that comes with every site on Pantheon. And let us know either in our community Slack channels or elsewhere if you get stuck. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Elise. Thanks, Karen. Taryn, I'm sorry. And we, I know. Man, Taryn. Thank you, Taryn. We'll see you on the internet.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.